Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another gameplay slice. As you seem to enjoy these quite a bit, I will keep making them because they are not that difficult to make and I enjoy making them. So this is a win-win situation, as we would call it. Today I have for you Rise of Humanity. This is a collectible card game, indie game. It's got a bit of adventure, a bit of narrative storytelling. It is made by a small Belgian indie studio called Cybernetic Walrus. No idea why, but maybe we'll find out someday. The game is currently in early access for a few months now, and there is quite a bit of content, I would say. There is a campaign which you can do. That is a roughly 4-hour campaign. So far it introduces you to the 4 playable characters that this game offers. The idea of this game is that actually robots or some sort of malignant AI has taken over the world, and you have to basically defeat the robots. So your enemies are robots. There are not that many of them. There are 3 or 4 enemy types so far. There will be more in future. And the story goes that, you have some sort of a decision to make, let's say. You can either try and convert the sort of malignant AI to work in your favor and help you out, or you can not do that and just destroy the whole thing, and then you have to bear the consequences of that. So this video is not sponsored in any way. I think that's always good to mention, and I will leave a Steam link to this game so you can check it out for yourself in the description of the video. This gameplay slice will do 2 things. I will take you through a mission. This is a mission with the hex-based grid, and if you've played any, sort of turn-based tactical games, this should seem somewhat familiar, but I'll talk you through what is going on here so you get a good idea of what this game is about. And then the second part is just a small conclusion where I will be talking about the hub that is there, what you can do with your cards, some of the character progression, because that actually exists as well, and give you hopefully, a full overview of what this game is about. The main chunk of this game is this, however, and every time that you start a new mission, you have battle goals to select. These are basically small challenges that award you with skill points. This is the token of a skill point. So I am a filthy casual, as you guys know, so we're gonna go with easy. We have 3 characters. We're gonna go with easy here as well, and we're gonna, what's this, system reboot? Yes, we will play that an awful lot. There we go. This is the game. We have this character. We got 3 characters actually. There are 4 in total, but you can only play with 3 at the same time. So I have this old lady. She's called Sue, and if you can see it, I can't really zoom in, I don't think. But Sue, as you can hopefully see, she is sitting in her own sort of robot. She's steering or commanding this robot, and she also can deploy a bunch of other small gadgets, such as turrets and walking mines and whatnot. We have Alex. Alex is over here. If you zoom in from behind, you can see she's got a red cross. This is the healer of the bunch, and she can heal and buff your enemies, or sorry, your allies. And then where's my 3rd character? Where did he go? Oh, here. Memory. Memory is a hacker. She can do all sorts of debuffs and hacks on enemies, which is useful because they're robots. At the top you see the order in which everything will play out. By default, the enemies haven't noticed you yet. So while you do typically see most of the enemies, they are currently in a sort of sleeping mode. So they are shut down and they will only wake up if you come near to them. And that near is defined by this alarm bell. So if I walk over here in the alarm bell hexagon, that means that one of the robots is gonna wake up and become active. In this case, most likely the puppy. But what we'll do is just play the mission. The goal is to kill everything. And we got our secondary goals over here, which means I have a few conditions I need to meet. And if I do, I get some additional skill points. If I don't, it's completely fine either. I just don't get the skill points. And one final thing about the UI I think is useful to know is that your action points are split into 2 things. So I have 6 movement points, which means I can move across 6 hexagons, and I have 3 action points by default. which means that I can spend cards that cost in total 3 energy. So we're just gonna wake up the puppy over here. So I woke up the puppy and the crusher, but that's okay. We got plenty of firepower at our disposal here to deal with that, most likely. So we will walk up a little bit further. And we will deploy our turret over here. There we go. And we are done with Sue for this turn. So now it's the doggy's turn. The doggy will probably attack the turret over there, but that's kind of fine. Now Alex is in a little bit of a tough spot here. If I move with her at all, as you can see, I'm gonna trigger this crusher. I don't think you want to trigger anything just yet over here. You might honestly pick up the entire battlefield. It's definitely not something you want to be doing, I would say. We're just gonna end the hero turn and keep those robots asleep. Now Memory is in the same situation where she's gonna wake up this crusher, but that's kind of okay because it's only one crusher, so I can wake up the crusher, potentially do some damage to it with some of the abilities that I have, and then I'll just make my way over here to the other character, because they're a lot stronger if they're together, because they can heal each other up and just take out and focus fire the same enemies. So what we can do is we can just walk up a little bit, do a bit of damage, and then run away. So we're gonna wake up the crusher. And I've built the deck around Memory so that we can recycle a lot of cards and get a bunch of bonuses. So we have a few things here. We got Ricochet, which is Ricochet mode, which means that it ricochets to different enemies. Now there's nobody else in reach of Crusher, so it's not gonna do much. But if there would be a doggy around, the attack would also ricochet to the doggy. We can do this, it's for free. We can draw a bunch of cards, also for free. And we could potentially move if we want. Now you see these little hexes over here, they contain a chest. This means that there is a card in here. There's a card in there as well. That means that you can go over here and loot a card, and then later, which I will show you, you can manage those cards, merge them together, combine the cards, or remove them again if that's what you want. So I will think a little bit about what we want to do here. I think the reset is just basically a complete reset of my deck. So I just get everything back again, which might be good. I can draw once more. This is a replenish energy. If I discard this, I get 4 energy. If I just use it, I get 1 energy. None of this matters too much. We will do energy, a dodge. This means that I have one sort of defensive mechanic active right now. If I do get attacked by the Crusher, if he manages to reach me, I will dodge one of his attacks, and that's it. So we're just gonna make our way over to Sue, and that's it. Now you can see the turret that I just deployed. It has its own order in the turn order. So it has its own thing that it does. It typically just targets the closest enemies and fires at it. And we're going to be deploying more stuff, which should be fun actually. So we can do a few things. We can go over here, and one of the things you can do, which is actually quite useful, is you can enhance the things that you deploy. So I can enhance my turret, which I'll do. So normally my turret does 4 damage. You can see the HP on top, right? So this has, what is this? 7. The puppy has 7. This thing already starts hitting for 6 now, which is quite decent. We can deploy the mine over here. I could have enhanced that mine as well. I can energize, give myself more energy points to play with. I could play this if I want to. This is a massive rocket. Instead, we'll just walk back a little bit, I think, and place a time bomb. This is a time bomb you can put down over here on a hex, and this thing is going to explode after 1 round. So if you kind of play the game for a little bit longer, you start to know and sort of understand how these enemies move, and it is very likely that this crusher will be in the area of these time bombs when they explode, meaning that it's gonna be killed. Now, what you want to be careful of is that you are not in the area of these time bombs when they explode, because they also instantly murder your characters, which is not what you want, clearly. What do we want to discard? We want to discard a few things. But that's it. Like, the doggy is typically not gonna get to me. The AI tends to target whatever is closest. We can see if we might already feel comfortable starting to make a run for it with Alex. Because we might as well. These crushers and the puppy over here, they're gonna take a while before they even, well, get into reach of either Alex or the other characters. So we might as well just start them up. Maybe do a little bit of damage in the meantime. But mostly just run away, I think. So we're starting this up. We can throw a hand grenade over there. The acid spray, I don't have enough range. I could go in closer, but I want to keep my distance. So we're going to use the pocket gun, which is a ranged attack. We can click over there. We will activate a dodge just in case they reach me, which they really shouldn't. And we're going to make a run for it and make our way over here back to Sue and Memory. So, ending the hero turn. Here is Memory. Now we're gonna start working on the puppy and the crusher over here. We can do that a few ways. You could go over here to the crusher, but I don't think that's a great idea. Instead, we'll just hide behind the turret and the mine and work our way from there. So this turn she will not be able to do too much. Even if the puppy attacks, I will survive. But otherwise, we keep her separated. Another reason to not put her next to Sue is because she does a bunch of AoE attacks, and those also hit your own characters. So the crusher is gonna go for the turret there. They also tend to heal themselves. Only for 1 though, so it's not an awful lot of healing, but they do tend to heal a little bit. He's gonna heal as well, like scratch his own back and then get 1 point of healing. Alright, so that was my mine. And my mine just instantly exploded the one of the crushers. And that's how powerful these mines can be. Let's see. So if we destroy one of these creatures, we get to choose cards as a reward. And these get into your general card pool. And you can work with these cards a little bit later, which I'll explain at the end of this video. There's no option, as far as I know, to not choose a card. Meaning that your deck will be increasing significantly. And you'll have to manage that somehow. But I typically tend to go for draw. Like, draw is typically good. Okay, so these are the time bombs. They're exploding next turn. So we don't want to be anywhere close to these things, because they're gonna hurt like hell. We can do a few things here, honestly. We can just energize. We can recover all and deploy all the one-shots. So this is a one-shot ability. Means that I can only use this once per level. Once per mission. However, I have another card, which is this one, Assembly Line. Which lets me recover all the one-shots. Meaning that I can use the big one again. And with this thing, I can instantly one-shot the puppy, for example. Which I might try and do. Over here. See, there it goes. That was the puppy. And now I can get it back if I want. I can raise my defenses too, but I shouldn't be attacked here. So let's just get the one-shots back. I get also the time bombs back, because those are also one-shot abilities. You can only deploy these once. And I had 2 cards of those. So now I get my one-shot abilities back. Which is good. They'll be put in the deck again and we can make use of them. We can actually start working more on this crusher while running away at the same time. So we do another pocket gun attack. This is a range attack for 1 damage or for 2 damage. We need to move in and then we can do acid spray. This is poison pretty much. But because of robots it's corrosion. But you can see the debuff effects next to their nameplates. Very small, but it says corrosion and you just need to know what it does. But corrosion is poison. It does 1 damage per turn. And we can leech. There we go. And now we need to run. Whenever you disengage, you see these exclamation marks, meaning that you're disengaging from an enemy. It also has a consequence that you disengage because you will discard a random card. Like so. So disengaging from enemies is not free in that sense. But there's not a whole lot of opportunity cost to it either. Okay, here we have memory. I think we'll just wake up the final dog, honestly. Just so we can get this mission over with. And I will show you what happens if I loot one of these chests. There we go. So it's kind of a loot box. And what can I do? I can do, for example, this is a new ability that I don't have yet. I'll pick this one up. We can do whatever, really. I think we'll do another system reboot here. See if we get anything decent. Now this system shock, I can actually reach the puppy if I want to. The main thing is I just don't want to take too much damage. But we can start working on this puppy. Oh, I can't. Oh, I'm still out of range. Okay, that's a mistake on my part then. We'll do a dodge. And we can add some energy, but I don't really need it. We'll just put it like this. One of the things you can do here in the bottom right is you have a choice always to have either a movement ability or a melee ability. So if I want to get out of range for just one more turn here, I can say, well, you know, just discard this card and then I'll get scroll, which is a movement ability, meaning that I can go over here just to be safe. And we'll do this and then we're all fine. So that was the robot. He just died because of the corrosion. We can do acid bubble, I guess, for more corrosion hits. And we can do self-healing in case you do more difficult content than this. It's quite useful. Dodging is quite useful as well. Alright, here he goes. Now hopefully he doesn't walk too far. There we go. So the bombs just exploded, meaning that the crusher got killed exactly like we thought it would. Reduce the cost next turn, seems good. This is the double shot, that seems good as well. And tap energy is pretty good as well. Alright. Well, we can go all the way over here and just deploy more stuff. We can either deploy more bombs, we can deploy more mines. We'll deploy a turret and put that in front so that the puppy is likely to do something with that. We'll deploy a mine. These mines will move automatically to targets. And that's all there is to it. We'll end our turn. Let's see what the puppy does. It's most likely gonna go for the turret here. Yeah, it did. Now, it doesn't really matter too much anymore what I do with her. We'll try and get some additional cards here. So we'll move over here. And I'll take the one more movement ability. Meaning that I'll get this chest. Which should give me yet another card. So acid spray is good. This is the poison attack that I used earlier. And then we're done with her. Now, memory could start working on the puppy, but we can also try and get the other chests here. Okay, so I can go over here. Let's just do that. And from here, I might even be able to damage the puppy. Yeah, I will be. So here you can ricochet, for example, and you can do system shock on this puppy. See, it does 3 damage from a distance. I don't really have much else that I can do here currently. There's no recycling abilities, unfortunately. So I can't draw or anything, but it should be alright. Here's my mine. Not sure why it's moving so weirdly, but you know, early access, I suppose. Alright, and that's it. Mission success. So, that is a mission. And these missions, they have very different goals. It's not always the same thing. It's not always the same level either. There are a bunch of different layouts. There are a bunch of different mission goals. And you can make the missions a lot harder by setting more ambitious battle goals up front. More ambitious challenges. Meaning that you get more skill points and meaning that your team gets better overall. For the second part, we're going to go to the hideout. And the hideout is actually your base. It's an abandoned theme park, which makes sense in the campaign because this is where you find Sue, for example, and where you find Memory. They are hiding out in this Robo World theme park. And this is why it looks like this. So you have the sleeping quarters, which is the Technodrome. You have the mission center where you can play missions. And you have the card shop, which is like the gift shop, I think, where you can upgrade merch and remove cards. So I'm gonna take a quick look at all of these 3, and then you've pretty much seen the game up to this point. Starting with the mission center, this is pretty self-explanatory. This is just the missions that I already completed. The campaign has around, I don't know, 8, maybe 10 missions. And it took me around 4 hours to complete the campaign on normal difficulty, as I am a filthy casual. And these are repeatable missions. So you can get these, you can keep doing these. That's the mission structure. However, then there is the sleeping quarter. If your heroes were damaged during the fight, you can heal them up over here. There are also small skill trees which you can improve by the skill points that you just got. For example, we just completed a mission with Memory and we got a bunch of skill points. I can spend those skill points here on skill trees, which, you know, could be useful. You can also increase your own health pool using skill points. Slowly but surely your heroes are getting better and they start drawing more cards, for example, or they start debuffing more enemies, that kind of thing. The same is true for Sue and the same is true for Alex, the medic. That's this mostly. You can have an overview here of their cards. So Alex has 21 cards. Hunter has 18, Hacker's got 25 cards, and Engineer, like Sue's, got 28 cards. And that's because there is currently, in my view at least, to my knowledge, there is currently no option to not choose a card. Which, might end up hurting you. Now, the final thing you can do, and you probably should do a lot, is go to the card shop and start upgrading cards. Because you find so many different cards, what you can do is combine the cards into better versions of these cards, which makes it worth grinding for a bunch of cards, right? So for example, I had the tap energy, I found it this level. What I can do is combine 2 tap energy cards for a little bit of currency into a better version, a 2-star version of tap energy, which will be a little bit better. So you get this, and I get a better version of the card. Depending on the type of card that you do this for, it will be either more or less expensive. So these only cost 100. But if you have more rare cards, they will cost a lot more. You have an option to remove cards as well. If there are cards in your deck, which will typically be the case, that you don't need, you can just remove them using this feature. This will be more and more expensive the more you use it. So you gotta be a little bit careful with this. So that is basically the main game, you could argue, these 3 components and then a bunch of missions that you can do. Also, you can go to the main menu and then there is one more game mode available in the main menu, which is the daily challenges. And this adds quite a bit of longevity to the game. You can play these daily challenges. Of course, there's a new challenge every day. These are quite challenging, actually. I tried one today and failed. Once again, I am a filthy casual though, so you know that might have something to do with it. But you will get negative modifiers, you will get specific goals that you need to complete, and it might actually pose a bit of a challenge. There are leaderboards as well. I'm currently the only one. I think I'm the only one who played this today, apparently, with 6,000 points ish. And then there's a monthly rank as well, so you can get up there if you want. And yeah, that's it for now. I think that's all I wanted to show you in this little gameplay slice. I hope you enjoyed it and that you got something out of it, and hopefully you got a better idea of what this game is about. It is available on Steam. It's currently in early access. It receives regular updates. You can subscribe and like the video, and if you subscribe, I make more content like these gameplay slices, but also a weekly roundup where I cover the patches from a news perspective. So whenever Rise of Humanity drops a new patch or has a new announcement, I will be covering that as well. And that's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it for you making it all the way to the end, and I will see you soon. Love you all. Bye bye.